What adorable nickname your family gave you did you later realize had a different meaning? My entire family called me Angel. Not just my parents, literally everyone. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, family, friends. For 24 years, I thought it was because I was their perfect little angel child, you know? The good kid who never got in trouble. I believed it so deeply that I got angel wings tattooed on my back at 18. My room overflowed with angel figurines, and I even became a nurse to be an angel of mercy. But looking back, the signs were always there. My parents looked haunted when they said my nickname. Grandma crossed herself every time. Relatives hugged me too long. Aunt Maria teared up. Uncle Roberto would go silent. Everyone was overly protective, borderline paranoid. Mom panicked if I was 5 minutes late. Dad checked on me constantly when I was sick. They weren't just worried, they were afraid. At my wedding, emotions were already high and the drinks flowing. Then my grandma stood up to toast our precious angel and suddenly started to cry. She started crying. Not happy wedding tears, deep, gut-wrenching sobs that made the entire reception go silent. Even the band stopped playing mid-song. Through her tears, she said, "We almost lost our angel before we ever got to meet her." I felt my stomach drop. My new husband looked at me completely confused. I had absolutely no idea what she meant, but something in her voice made my blood run cold. My mom immediately tried to stop Grandma, rushing over to her and whispering urgently in her ear, but Grandma was too far gone emotionally. "Tell her, Maria. She needs to know why we call her Angel. She deserves to understand." My mom's face went completely white. My dad stood up like he was going to physically stop this conversation from happening. The entire room, maybe 60 people, was holding their breath, but I grabbed my mom's hand and said, "Mom, what is she talking about? What happened to me?" The whole family was staring at us now. All these people who'd loved me my entire life, and they all had this look like they'd been waiting for this moment for decades. My mom looked around the room at all these faces, aunts, uncles, cousins, and they all nodded like they'd been carrying this secret together forever. She took a shaky breath and said, "When I was 7 months pregnant with you, we were in a car accident." My heart completely stopped. A drunk driver ran a red light and hit us head on going 50 miles per hour. The impact was so severe that the doctors said it should have killed you instantly. I was in a coma for 3 days. When I woke up, they told me you were gone. I felt like I was going to throw up right there in my wedding dress. But then, on the 3rd day, they found a heartbeat, the tiniest flutter on the monitor. The doctors called it medically impossible. They said you were our guardian angel, that you'd survived something that should have been fatal. My grandma was sobbing now, and half the reception was crying with her. "We thought God was taking you back to heaven, but you fought. You stayed with us." My mom continued, her voice breaking. "You were born 2 months early, barely 3 pounds, covered in tubes and wires. The doctors said you flatlined twice in your first week. Each time somehow you came back. The nurses started calling you the miracle baby." The whole room was crying now. My husband was holding my hand so tight it hurt, and I could see tears streaming down his face. "But to us, you were our angel. Not because you were perfect, but because you literally chose to stay on earth instead of going to heaven. We named you Angel because you died and came back to life. Twice." I sat there in my wedding dress, completely shattered. 24 years of thinking I was just their good kid who never caused trouble. I wasn't called Angel because I was perfect. I was called Angel because I literally died and came back to life. Twice. My whole family had been carrying this trauma for decades, calling me Angel as a constant reminder of the miracle that I was alive. Every overprotective moment, every extra long hug, every tearful "I love you" suddenly made perfect sense. They weren't just my family. They were people who'd already grieved me once and never wanted to do it again. I looked around at all these faces, people who'd spent my entire life secretly terrified they might lose me again, and finally understood why I was their angel. Not because I was perfect, because I was their miracle.